Setting everybody, boy Big Brando. We're doing another one take. The question today is, how do you dial in your settings when you're using Plastisol Heat Transfers without wasting the transfers? So what I'm talking about is when you get your Plastisol Heat Transfer, every heat press is different. Doesn't matter if you're using the same exact press as the company you got them from, or if you're using the same press as me, our settings will still be different because they're all calibrated differently. Now, a little backstory: when you're getting Plastisol transfers from whatever company, they're giving you instructions how to apply it is based off of their press that they have in house. You know what I mean? So they tested these transfers out, and with these settings that they give you, that works for their press. They know that the transfer could be laid down correctly with these settings on their press. You don't have the same press as them. You have to dial in your own settings. You could use that instruction that they gave you kind of as a starting point, and then you could, you know, kind of tweak it to make it work for you. So you could bump the heat up a little bit, maybe the duration, adjust the pressure. There's small fine tuning that needs to go in to see what works for you, because you're gonna test it out on a t-shirt, wash it, see what it looks like, wash it again, see what it looks like, until you get the desired press that you want. Now, a lot of people have been hitting me up and saying, hey man, like, I've been testing out these transfers and I only ordered 50 and I already burned up like 15 of them just testing out my settings. How do I do it without wasting a lot of transfers? So this is what I'm going to show you guys. This is how I do it. And this is a good cost-saving way to kind of get started and figure out your settings early on. So imagine this is a transfer. Let's just say 14 by 19 or whatever the sizing is. I got 4 designs on here. Instead of cutting out each design and pressing it to test it out, what I would do is I would cut, like, let's just say this one out, and then I would cut this into 8 pieces. So I would cut the designs out, and then I would cut this one into 8 pieces. The reason I do that is because across this whole transfer, it'll have the same ink, it'll have the same adhesion, it'll have everything that's in that transfer, but you don't need to press the whole transfer as a whole. Cut it up in 8 pieces, and now you could test it out 8 different times to get your settings correct, right? So now instead of burning up 8 whole transfers, you're just doing one transfer, cutting it up into 8 pieces. So let me show you how that would work. Drew it out on my little sketchbook here. This is the front of the shirt. These 8 pieces are this one design cut into 8 little squares, and then I would press this one at a certain temp, certain duration, this one at a different one, this one at a different one, and then I would wash it and then find out which one laid down the best, which one doesn't have any you know, wrinkles, or is it peeling up, or is it cracking. Then I'll know exactly what settings to use. And then say if I still don't get it, I'll turn the shirt on its back, cut out, let's just say this one, and then I'll cut that into 8 pieces and then press it on the back of the shirt. So now I'm not burning, you know, 8 different shirts. I'm just doing this one shirt, front and back, and I'm testing it out 16 different times to find out which one works the best. It's a easy way to do it, and it's cost effective because you're not wasting a lot of shirts. You're wasting one t-shirt, and you're only wasting a total of maybe 2 transfers. Most of the time, you'll get it off of that one design that you cut into 8. You just press it at different times, different temperatures. You just keep pressing it at different settings, and then you write them down, and then you find out which one works. So you wash this whole shirt, like, oh shit, the ones that I pressed at, you know, 350, 355, and maybe 357 laid down perfect. These ones up here peeled up, or these ones wrinkled. So I know these are going to be good. So then you could test it out again with different pressure settings or whatever it is. That's how I do it. That's how I test out if I'm using a new transfer and I want to kind of dial in my settings. That's how I do it. And then on a piece of paper or on a book like this, I'll write down, when I use these transfers from Jason Ends, these are the settings that I use and that worked for me. So I could always go back to it whenever I use Jason Ends transfers again. I'm using Jason Ends as an example. I could just go off of these settings because I know they work. So hopefully this helps you guys out and it answers your questions. But that's something that I was getting a lot of, was people were saying they were wasting a lot of transfers trying to dial in their settings, and they're getting mad because they only ordered so many and they already burned up so many different transfers and t-shirts. This is an easy way, a good cost-effective way to dial in your settings without having to waste a lot of money, waste a lot of material, and waste t-shirts, because it's just for practice, and it's just for getting the correct settings for your transfers. All right, if you guys have any more questions, leave them in the comments. That's where I'm pulling a lot of these questions from, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.